Alicia, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Welcome to orientation.
Thank you.
Alrighty. I was just telling the ladies in here, I'm going to wait a couple more minutes to see if anyone else jumps online, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
Okay.
Alrighty. Hi, Jessica.
Hello.
All right. So the purpose of orientation, just to kind of let you guys know, is I'm really just going to teach you how to navigate KWBresources.com. That's going to be our Market Center webpage. So as opposed to a Keller Williams International webpage that's going to be on a broad spectrum, this is specific to our Market Center. So it'll allow you to get more intimate details about how to access different things relative to our Market Center, how to see what's going on in the Market Center, how to know who to contact about different things, and who your leadership team is going to be. So to kind of give you a pretty good overview, I will say that there is a lot of information on here. So hey, Kristen, how are you? So if there's anything that seems like you've got a question, feel free to raise your hand, let me know, just shout it out if you're online, that's absolutely fine as well. Stop me where we're at, or you're welcome to wait until the end. Sometimes I know for me though, I'll forget my question if I wait till the end. So feel free to shout them out at any point. There's really no harm in interrupting. I'd rather make sure that everything's clear. And at the very end, I do ask just as an overview, like give me feedback, any questions. If there is any questions that are on the top of your brain that I don't know the answer to, what I'll do is I'll write them down, take them back to my office, and then I'll find the answer for you by asking around. So I'll make sure that we leave with all the knowledge we need. And I would say that the best thing in preparation for this, again, is to digest everything fully. My best recommendation to you guys is just mess around on the website when you get home. If you've got a free moment, just kind of fiddle, see if you can't remember how we got to certain things. The other really great thing is that this is automatically being recorded as a meeting. I will post it to a YouTube channel that we have for the Market Center, and I'll show you how to get to that from here as well. And that recording will be posted there later. So if you guys need to go back and rewatch anything just to see how I navigated, you'll be able to do that as well. Hi, can I help you? Oh, okay. PJ, everybody. Alrighty, guys, so we'll go ahead and get started real quick. My name is Liz, in case you guys online did not get to hear that. I'm the one who's been emailing you this entire time, so hopefully we will get to meet face-to-face shortly enough. But without further ado, we'll get started. So this is KWBresources.com. Again, KWBresources.com. This is going to be our Market Center webpage. When you navigate there, this is going to be the home page that you will arrive at. The first thing that I do like to take a quick moment to show you guys is going to be this new agent tab. So if we click on this new agent tab, it's just going to give you a little bit more content that's specific to you guys as you're first starting out. This first thing on the left here under learn more, if you were to click on it, it's going to take you to a quick little checklist just to show you an overview of your onboarding process, a brief little gist here, give you an idea of what to expect as you're going through onboarding, but also what will be asked of you. So most of you have completed your paperwork. I think everyone actually at this point is all set with the paperwork. So congratulations, guys, you are onboarded. The next thing that I would kind of point out on here is under things you can do immediately. There's a couple things that you guys can just kind of keep in the back of your mind, because I know that that's probably the first thing when you're starting out is like, okay, what do I do now? Because there is not necessarily like a person who's going to walk you through with all the training. So let me go ahead and give you a couple things that you can get started on. And then I'll also reference some other things moving forward that'll be relevant to you guys as new agents as well. The first thing, as I mentioned, is just kind of navigating this web page, really familiarize yourself with where to find things. That's probably one of the most helpful things because this is a hub for a lot of our information. The next thing is to be attending the office meetings, including orientation. So congratulations, one off your list. But a few other meetings, team meetings are great to participate in as well. It's really communal. It's kind of make it a party every Tuesday or every other Tuesday. So it's just a lot of fun here, lots of energy flowing, and it really gets you to kind of meet with other agents. We have vendors who arrive to those as well. And you'll get to also hear what's going on because we do talk numbers and we want to talk about what's in the market because we want everyone to be aware of what's going on. The next thing on here is joining Ignite. So our Ignite sessions have been brought back in person to our market center at the start of January. So at the start of the year, we brought them back. They're being led by some of our top 20% agents here. So you'll be getting to learn directly from some of our top producers, which is very exciting. The next thing to note about Ignite is that it will be kicking off in July. So if you have not gotten an email about Ignite yet, that's absolutely fine. I will be sending those more out in just a little bit, but I believe everyone should have gotten one at this point in time. So our Ignite will begin July 11th. It will wrap up July 29th. There are 3 sessions every week. It's a 3-week program. So you guys will be in here from 8:45 to noon. So, and each of those days, you guys will be in here with, like I said, a top producer who's going to be leading the class, maybe 1 or 2. And some of those days, you'll also have a vendor who will come in during your break just to introduce themselves, so you guys can immediately be building some relationships with some of our vendor partners. So really great. We do a really fun little graduation celebration at the end. We'll bring donuts or cake, cupcakes, all the things, and we'll try and get a lot of people in here to congratulate you guys on that huge accomplishment. But Ignite's really great because it is pivotal in building a foundation for you guys in your real estate career. It just kind of helps you guys lay down the line because, again, lots of information, lots of free range. It can be a little intimidating. So we want to make sure that you guys are set up for success. The very next thing under the things you can do immediately
Hey,
would be
Liz.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Hey, sorry, this is Jessica.
No, you're okay. I told you to interrupt. I'm
question.
all good with it.
So, do we have to register? Like, is there a link for us to register for the Ignite classes? Because I didn't see one.
Nope, no worries. So for Ignite, there is no registration required for in-person attendance, which we do encourage a lot, in-person attendance. There is a Zoom link that will go out in that email that you should have received at some point. If you're not, Jessica, I'll definitely send you the email again. I know you guys get a lot of emails. But so the Zoom link is great if you guys can't make it into the office, or maybe it's not compatible with your schedule. Feel free to jump on the Zoom call. But for registration in person, that's not necessary. You can just show up.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
No problem. So the next thing is just joining our Facebook pages. We've got 2 that I think are the most notable, and I'll kind of touch more on those in a little bit. But we've got one that's internal within our market center. It's just a bunch of agents and the leadership communicating. The next is going to be a vendor private group for our Facebook as well to get you connected with vendors. So again, I'll touch on that in a little bit. And then the last thing that I think is really noteworthy is registering your car with Torrington Preferred Parking, which is our office park complex, their parking program, I guess I should say. So if you guys, and this is not necessary unless you plan to be in the office more than probably a handful of times in the month, which obviously we'd prefer to see your lovely faces. Hello, how are you? So if you guys are planning to be here fairly consistently, which we would love to see you, I do just recommend registering your car. We do technically have parking passes. There's a few visitor spaces that you guys are welcome to use at any time. Again, especially if you're going to be here only a few times. But it's really simple. You'll just click on this link here, and it'll take you right to where you need to be for preferred parking. You can go ahead and scroll down. All you have to do is enter your name and email. We are building 2 when it asks. So building 2, but you can fill up to 3 vehicles for that same parking pass. And it's just so that they know that you're going to be here. I will say I've never seen anyone get towed, knock on wood. Hopefully that never happens. But you guys should be all set once you've done that. And your parking pass will be delivered to your mail folder, which our mail room, which most people I feel like do not know that they've got a mail folder, which is why I like to talk about it now. So if you go to the front desk, the lobby area, the room right to the right, with a purple back wall, kind of similar to this one here. That is going to be our mail room. We've got a series of filing cabinets in there, all organized alphabetically by last name. And there's markers there to make it easy for you. But each of you have pretty much a manila file folder in there. So any mail that you have directed to this office building will be dropped off in that folder. So licenses, I know South Carolina licenses are a big one. So if you ever get your South Carolina license, if that's something you're interested in doing, it will be automatically brought to this office. They deliver it to the market center. So it'll be sitting in your mail folder when it comes in, and you guys, and Sue usually will send you like a nice little email saying that there's something in there for you, especially when it's something really important like that. But you know, you will get different things if you register. You get the junk mail and stuff. So we try to sift through some of that for you. But you do have a mail folder, each of you. So anytime you do direct anything to this office, that's where you can find it. And Sue's happy to show that to you as well. The only other thing is if you guys ever order Amazon deliveries, anything like that, Vistaprint, things of that nature, those will also be dropped off in the mail room. We have a table there that we like to stick our packages on, and we've got an honor system that's worked out very well. no issue. So anytime that there's anything addressed to you that way, that's where you can find it too. All right. So we're on kwbresources.com, which is here. And then I went under new agents, which is this button here, but I'm actually about to close out of that, so you don't have to chase me there. All right, so I'm going to close out of that. Alrighty, so we're still actually technically under the new agent tab if you do want to click in, but if not, you can just follow along on the TV, either or. On this right-hand side here under basic training, if you were to click on learn more, it's going to take you to Scott Leroy's Scott Leroy Marketing, their webpage. Their webpage is great. Scott Leroy, for those of you who do not know, are third-party marketing consultants. They set up your entire Keller Cloud system, all your logins to KW Tech and things like that. They are the ones who did all of that on your behalf. They're amazing and they're very highly responsive, very helpful. So Scott Leroy website, we do like to point out because there's a lot of great content on here, including a free QR code generator. So if you guys ever wanted to try and make a QR code for anything, this is a great stopping point. If you guys ever were looking for tech training, we do have Jules and Leah who teach every Tuesday for 2 hours on different things, including command. They talk about DocuSign. They talk about how to make your Facebook ads pop, things like that. They really try to help out. And they also both actually have a background from Scott Leroy, so they're very helpful resources. But if you guys are ever looking for something more on demand, maybe you can't make it in on a Tuesday, if you go under agent resources and hit training, go to the training calendar, it'll ask you to insert our market center number, and our number is 350. That's a number you'll probably see repeat a lot throughout your logins here. But when you enter 350, you'll be able to see their overview of a training calendar. 1 o'clock from Monday through Friday, they will do a different style tech training. So today is Designs 101, tomorrow's Listing and Landing Pages. So you guys can feel free to go here. It's a Zoom link. It will be a live class. It's just through Zoom. Feel free to use this as much as you'd like. We partner very closely with Scott Leroy, and they've got amazing information to share with you guys. So we highly recommend them. The only other thing that I'm going to take time right now to show you guys is one of the biggest questions I feel like I always get is, do I get a business card when I onboard? The answer, unfortunately, from Keller Williams is a no. You will not be receiving business cards. But the really great news is Scott Leroy offers really amazing deals. And because of our partnership with them, they've already got pre-done templates for you. So if you were to go under store and click on business cards, again, you're more than welcome to use Vistaprint and go that route if you prefer it. So you can kind of have more creative liberty with that. You're absolutely allowed to. This is just cut and easy. It's already template. All the legal information you need on there is already on there. Makes it a little bit simpler. You won't have to necessarily worry about sharing that design with Sabre to get approval before printing. So under the business cards, though, like I said, there's several templates. You can kind of see them here. When you say choose your brand, you'd say Keller Williams and you'd say your market center, but there's different templates available here behind. I'm not going to go through all of it with you, but you just enter your personal information. You can add a photo on there as well. They allow you to customize the finishes, the corners, all that great stuff and more. And they've got, again, really great price points. I was able to get 500 myself using that site and I spent $39. So pretty good price point. If that's something that you guys are interested in grabbing really quickly, definitely a site I'd recommend taking a look at. But still, we're all under that new agent tab. We're going to scroll a little bit further. Like I mentioned, there were those 2 Facebook pages that I always recommend being part of. The first Facebook page here is going to be that internal Facebook page for the market center. So that's going to allow you to communicate and get familiar relationship building with other agents, but also leadership. I will be constantly posting in there, welcoming new agents, talking about congratulating our cappers. I'm in there talking about trainings we've got coming up with registration links and all that great stuff and more. So I'm constantly active in there, letting you know what's going on with the market center. Excuse me. And we also have all of the agents in our market center, pretty much a part of that as well. So randomly, if you're ever actually active, kind of scrolling through, you'll see somebody asking for in search of this. They're looking for a house that meets the specifications for their buyer. You guys can communicate that way. So if you've got a buyer, you've got a listing, there you go, right there, made it easy. You guys can communicate that way. The other really great thing is, especially when you're first starting out, is a lot of agents will actually post if they've got open houses coming up, or if they need somebody to do a showing for them that they just can't make. So that's a really great way for you guys to immediately get actively involved, get the ball rolling. You guys can start throwing your name and contact information in there. You can even post in there saying that you're a new agent and you'd love to get connected with some people. Everyone's super friendly, and the entire purpose behind that is to help each other. So please do be a part of that Facebook group. It's going to let you know a lot of the things that are going on in the market center, but also get you to start making some relationships with some of our agents here. And I think that that's really big, especially when you're first starting out and it's a lot overwhelming. I think that sense of community can be a lot, and that's very calming. So the next thing here under the strategic alliance partners, this is going to be that vendor Facebook page I was talking to you guys about. Again, that's going to be an internal Facebook page. So you actually have to request access to it. It's not going to be a public facing page, but that's because all of our preferred vendor partners who are vetted by Rob Conkle, one of our agents here, they're all on there. So these are agents that we've worked with for years. They've got fantastic reputations. They've got glowing reviews, and they've always done an amazing job. So these are all amazing agents that you guys can be recommending to your clients, especially I know that the rule is to try and give them 3 options. So we've got plenty of options on there. My favorite feature obviously being the search. So you can just easily say plumber, electrician, anybody we've got will be popping right up there for you. Obviously, you are welcome to venture out and try to find other individuals that might suit the needs of your clients better. But this is a really great starting point to immediately get you connected with trustworthy individuals and great technicians. And the other thing to note is that some of them will even go on there and post coupons and deals that they've got running. So again, a really great thing for you guys to kind of leverage with your clients, like, hey, if you use so-and-so, they're offering a deal right now on this. So a really great stopping point as well to get you connected with some amazing vendors. And we're just going to scroll a little bit further. I'm not necessarily going to open this one up. I do it usually, but it just to simplify colorisms. In case you have not noticed, if you're not familiar with Keller Williams, you will hear some terms that probably do not exist anywhere else in the real world. And that's just kind of Keller Williams. We've got our own culture, and it's great. I mean, they've all got, real world translations. But if you're ever like, okay, Liz is talking about assistant MCA, I don't even know what that is. You can go ahead and click on that. I know sometimes I'm a little too shy to ask, which you never have to be with me because I've used the same sheet before. But if you ever feel a little shy, or maybe you just want a quicker answer, you're welcome to check out the colorisms. It breaks it down. It talks about caps. It talks about what each leadership role translates to in a normal business, all the things. So you can pretty much get an idea of just about everything that we've got going on if you ever have any questions about it. Just a little bit further down here, touch on Command. Command is our CRM that we use here. It's built for KW by KW. So with that being said, it's amazing. We're very familiar with it, but at the same time, sometimes there can be an issue or two that come up. So they're constantly making updates and trying to improve Command. But if you guys are ever wondering how to navigate through there and maybe you couldn't make a tech class with Leah and Jules, or maybe you haven't had a chance to ask, if you guys are looking for frequently asked questions like, hey, can I just go to one central hub where maybe my question's been answered? Answers.kw.com right here is a really great spot to check. That is an entire website that is built up exclusively for frequently asked questions about commands and how to use it. A sister website to answers.kw.com is actually ideas.kw.com. And that's an entire web page that is dedicated to suggestions about how to improve Command. So they do like to hear from everyone and anybody just to make sure that it is the most user-friendly. So you guys, especially as new agents, have a highly valuable opinion. They want to know that it's going to be a seamless transition for you guys as you start out. So do feel free to drop any suggestions into ideas.kw.com. They're absolutely happy to hear it. So if you're like, I don't know why you did this, I think it would be better this way, you can share that with them. They'd love to hear from you. For Ignite, there are materials that you can download here. I will say that there is an easier way to access them. And you'll kind of notice that as we go through the page here, is that there's several different ways you can access different content, but the same content in different ways, I guess I should say. So materials can be downloaded here, but there is an easier way, I think, to download them as well. And I'll go ahead and show that with you in just a moment. Again, same kind of concept here. This is one way that we can pull to see the training calendar that we've got for Valentine, but there is a simpler way. So I'm going to show you that in a bit. I won't try and pull too quick. Conference rooms. So we actually have several different conference rooms. I believe we have 6 or 7. I never feel like I've taken the time to get the right number on that, if it's 6 or 7. So we've got just about 6 to 7 conference rooms here, varying in size and capacity. So we've got ones that suit 4. We've got ones that suit up to 10. So we do have lots of different resources here for you. We try to use them for consulting, for client meetings, and for coaching. So if you guys ever have a purpose similar to those that you're, hey, I'm meeting with a client, I really need a private space, I don't have an office, or maybe I'd rather meet with them in a conference room anyways, just keep my office, you're more than welcome to book a conference room. You'll just go ahead and click on book a conference room right here. You may actually want to register first if it's your first time using it, but you'll just go ahead and you'll create a login using your KW email. And once you go in there, you'll be able to book a conference room. We allow you to use those conference rooms for up to 2 hours a day. So you're welcome to go ahead and book anything whenever you need to. And again, this opens up to a giant spreadsheet basically that shows you the breakdown of each conference room, the capacity they hold, and the time slots available for it. You'll be able to see who's got it booked when, just so you can kind of make sure that you've got your own privacy. And we also, if you guys are ever looking, again, maybe I don't have an office here, but I need a private area. We've got some cubicles actually back in this back corner where our KW commercial sits. We've got cubicles available. They're considered day desks. And those are also available for you guys to use for up to 2 hours at a time. No rent, no anything. You're welcome to just pop a squat and have your private moment and take care of what you need to do. The other great thing is the day desks. Again, we've got several of them available. I'm sorry. Yes, so they're day desks. So they're cubicles over there that we've got that are specifically meant as a day desk. So if you see someone there, give them like 2 hours and then you can go in behind them. But we've got 6, I think, available right now. There will be 8 by the end of the month. So feel free to use any of those at any point as well. Again, just really great for privacy. And I will say commercials usually kind of quiet back there, so that can be nice for you. All right, so all of this has all been under that new agent tab. So I'm just going to go ahead and take us right back to the home page. All right. So just scrolling a little bit further, and this is all through the homepage, you'll see that we've got our wonderful leadership team here. So if you're ever curious about who someone is or what they do, what their title is, or their email, this is where you can find all of their information. All right, scroll a little bit further. The can't miss video of the week is usually a tech tip or trick that is taught to you guys by Jules and Leah through their tech expertise and through their classes. So they'll go ahead and post a updated video probably once a week here, just to keep you guys updated on what's going on and how you can use different tips and tricks to make your tech life a little bit more efficient, a little bit more effective. A little bit further, if you just scroll down, you'll be able to get to the office calendar. There is a quicker way to pull again, but this is our office training calendar, and I'll take time to kind of touch on that now. This is going to be kind of, I think, the most valuable part of the entire thing. Some may disagree. This is my job, so this is like my baby. But the calendar here is going to explain everything that we've got going on in the Market Center for any given month. You can even actually scroll months ahead, and you can see some of the different things that we've got on the calendar. So if you like to really book yourself out and try to make sure, okay, I have time blocked for this next month or at the end of the month, you're more than welcome to. Registration links are usually up within a month or so of a class. If not, definitely a few weeks, because that's when I'll start promoting things. But this is a great spot for you guys to stop and check. So if you see here, if there's ever a very busy day, like the first Tuesdays of every month, they're pretty busy for us because we've got a lot of committee meetings that happen. You'll see a +6 here. If you just click on that, it'll show you the breakdown of everything. So don't feel like anything's hidden from you. And you just click on whatever it is there. The finance committee meetings are 10 a.m. on the first Tuesday of every month. So if there's ever a registration link, I will say most of our committees meet in person, but if there's ever any registration links, that's where you will find them. For example, if you click on orientation today, you'll be able to see there's a little bit of a blurb about what's going on. Here's the link that you guys can jump on Zoom. Here's a passcode if you need it. But that's just the gist of it. But we do have lots of different classes that are recurring. We've got team meetings that recur. Those are the second and fourth Tuesdays of every month. We've also got forms classes. Our forms classes are every Thursday. They focus on the different forms on the different sides of a transaction. So the first Thursday is always North Carolina listing. The second Thursday is always North Carolina buyer. The third is always South Carolina listing, and then South Carolina buyer the fourth week. So those are really valuable classes where our broker in charge actually does a Zoom call, and she talks about all the different forms that you guys will be interacting with and using during a given transaction. So she just tries to help familiarize you guys with those forms. So she's great, and she's also very resourceful. You can ask as many questions as you'd like during those opportunities. We also do the breakdown here. I am on May. Okay, so you'll be able to see right there, it'll do a little nice red box about where we are, but you guys can go ahead and see. So we've got a tech training opportunity where Yassine's going to teach you guys how to navigate Google Suite. That's coming up, and you'll be able to see right there, there's a Zoom link to join that. It's in person as well. If you ever see an Eventbrite link, then that is an in-person registration link. Then we just ask you to register to make sure that we've got our head count correct for our class, make sure we've got enough chairs, potentially enough food, all the things. Zoom links obviously are for remote learning, but there is plenty on this calendar. So please do take the time to just kind of check out the calendar because there's so much on here. I'm not going to bog you down with that now, but feel free to start registering for anything and everything that sounds of interest to you that you think would be valuable to implement in your business. We would absolutely love to see you guys at some of those trainings. Again, this is just a little further underneath the calendar. We are talking about the different trainings that we've got that are recurring, or the different meetings we've got that are recurring, including ALC meetings, team meetings, and those forums classes. So if you guys forget, second and fourth Tuesday, you can just scroll a little bit further and it'll remind you right there. I know that this month was a little tricky, and just to kind of show that it is the second and fourth Tuesday, this month, the first Tuesday technically was the 7th. So our team meeting didn't happen until this past Tuesday. That did confuse a lot of our agents, so I will say. So don't feel bad. We've got seasoned agents who get confused about that too.
Hey,
I was gonna say, I was like,
me.
Hey, Cindy.
Hey, the meetings at 8:45 in the morning every day, are those for agents, for everybody, or?
So the Power Up Lead Gen.
Yeah.
So those are actually for coaching. So if
Okay.
you're in coaching, that's going to be something that's available to you guys. And you should be hearing from Brandy Williams soon if you guys are involved in coaching. So you'll be hearing from her shortly. And if not her, then her assistant Shanine. And within the next week or so, I would think. And then as soon as that's happened, you should get the link available to you for the Power Up Lead Gen opportunities.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. No problem. I know it's a little confusing and I feel bad. The only reason that link's actually not there is because it's for coaching. And if you're not involved in coaching, it's supposed to be an exclusive opportunity for coaching clients. So I try not to put it there just in case, which is why it's been missing. So thank you for asking. The little bit further down on the homepage, we do have our ALC here. So our Agent Leadership Council, these agents are within our top 20%. So again, some of our top producers have chosen to volunteer their time to represent different committees here at Valentine, where they will try to better Valentine in different ways and try to bring new things to the table. So we've got retention committee here. We've got a diversity, equity, and inclusion committee. We've got social committee, charity committee. We also have, finance, all the things. So if you guys have any interest at all in just hearing what they have to say, or even sharing your input on things you'd like to see in Valentine, you are more than welcome to join any of these individuals for their committee meetings. And like I said, those are all going to be on that calendar, usually the first Tuesday or Wednesday. But you're welcome to share your thoughts. You can even join that committee if you like. So feel free to get in touch with any of these individuals. Their emails are listed, so you can reach out at any point. You can attend their meetings, or you can honestly just stop them in the hall and ask them a little bit about what's going on. Everyone's very friendly here. They want to help answer questions and help you out however they can. So if your questions is simple as, can I come to your meeting? I'm sure they'd be happy to have you. Growth committee is actually one that I like to touch on as well. So that's an entire committee dedicated to growing your downline and your profit share. So if you guys have any interest in trying to build your downline and getting that passive income, so I don't have to work and I still get a paycheck, they are the people to talk to because they've all got amazing profit share. So the next little bit here, if you scroll a little bit further, we've got our productivity coaches. These are all of the lovely people who make up our coaching program here. And these are all of the coaches that we've got available to you. So as you guys are getting involved in coaching, these are going to be some of the coaches that you will meet with and get to know. All right, a little bit further, we do have T group partners. Our T group partners are our transaction group partners. This is a program that was entirely built up by Sabra, our broker in charge. And Sabra built our T group program to help you guys succeed. So as you guys are first starting out, again, lots of forms, lots of transactions, very scary stuff, very confusing stuff. These are other individuals, again, very seasoned agents who've been doing this for quite some time and have a lot of familiarity and comfort with the forms. So they're here to help answer a lot of your questions. So as part of your onboarding process, you are assigned a T group partner. If you've received an email from me that says, welcome to KW Valentine area, that's going to be the title of it. That's going to be where you're introduced to your T group partner. If you've not received that yet, you will be receiving one in the next little bit here. But those are going to be the individuals that you guys can reach out to as well, just to ask some quick questions to. And they'll also meet weekly in person in a conference room, and you guys can attend those meetings. They'll be going over, again, those forms with you and just helping to answer your questions. So go ahead and attend those meetings as frequently as you'd like. They are absolutely here just to help you guys feel comfortable going into your first transaction and to get more confident with all of that very fast. A little bit further, we have our First Step partners. So kind of an adjacent program that we have that Sabre built up herself as well. These individuals are amazing. They are here to help you guys during your first 90 days. So in that same email where you're introduced to a T group partner, you're also introduced to your First Step partner. It's going to not necessarily be in the body of the email. It's going to be in an attachment. It's going to say memo from Sabre. That's where you can find out who your partners are and what their contact information is. But these First Step partners are here, like I said, to help you in the first 90 days. They'll be contacting you in the first couple of weeks that you're here, just to make sure you guys are doing okay. If you've got any questions, they're really helpful with where do you drop off a check? Where do you turn in a check? How do you get to your mail folder? They're going to help you with office related questions and just kind of newbie questions, if you will. So they also have great information to share about forms, but that's more T group side. So if it's transaction related, you're going to want to see your T group partner. But if it's ever, hey, I just have a really silly question, you can ask me if you want. I don't mind answering, but these individuals are great to ask as well. And each of you have a First Step partner. They'll also be sending you what's called a 30, 60, 90 ramp up checklist. And that 30, 60, 90 checklist is going to have information basically that just kind of guides you in that first 3-month period. I know that, again, lots of information, lots of what do I do next. That checklist is a loose guide where you can kind of go through and say, okay, today I'm going to dedicate 2 hours to lead gen. That's something that's on there. Okay, now I'm going to make sure that at some point this week I go see Liz for orientation, or I go see Jules and Leah for a tech class. So again, just lots of good information, guidance on there where it's not something you have to follow to a T, but it's definitely there to help give you some sense of instruction, because it can be kind of open-ended when you're joining real estate and on your own. So feel free to use that checklist as much as you'd like. And these individuals are absolutely here for, like I said, you to contact them at any point, but they'll be checking in on you intermittently just to make sure you're still doing okay. If you need anything, if you don't need anything, I think Carrie actually was the one who the other day she joked and she said, if I'll call you, if you don't answer and you don't need anything, don't call me back. That's okay. She said, but if you need something, feel free to call me back. So again, just really great people, very friendly, very knowledgeable. If you just scroll a little bit further here, we've got some frequently used sites and helpful resources at the bottom. They're not necessarily needed for you to click on through this way. Again, a better way to navigate, I think. So I'll show you that in just a moment, but that's just kind of the homepage if you continue scrolling. If you go under this FAQ tab up at the top here, it's just going to show you, okay, again, we're still new. So, hey, I don't know who to talk to about commission information. So you can hover over any of these tiles here, and it just kind of gives you a loose idea of what some of these roles do. So Lynn Davis is commissions, she's agent bills, she's money in, money out. So any questions about money, go see Lynn, kind of thing. So if you've got questions like, okay, I've got a question about a contract, you can scroll and you can call Sabre, and it gives you their contact information there. So again, just kind of gives you a concept of who you can reach out to about different things. Again, if you never know, or maybe, okay, that if nothing on here is helpful, Liz, what do I do? Email me and I will put you in contact with who you need to talk to. I'm absolutely happy to either get the answer for you myself, save you a second, or I'll connect you with who does if I think it's maybe going to take a conversation in there. But I have no problem doing that. So if you guys ever have questions, you can use this page, or you can just email me and I'll give you the information of who you need to reach out to. The next thing under, I'm not going to necessarily go under about, but on-demand training is actually going to be a password protected tab. So if you guys want to write it down or type it in your computer, everybody ready? Okay. So it's a capital B, a lowercase a, M, C, and then the number 350. And then you'll hit enter and it'll go. So it's actually, if you guys are in here and you see the Wi-Fi password, it's the same thing as the Wi-Fi password minus an exclamation point. So it makes it easy. So if you ever forget, that's an easy way to remember. So capital B, lowercase AMC, 350. Once you're into the on-demand training on this left-hand side here, and I am quickly, guys, I'm going to mute you. Don't think that I'm muting you on purpose. It's just because I know sometimes videos will play here. So this, if you click on this on-demand training on the left-hand side, it's going to take you to that YouTube channel I was telling you about earlier, where I will go and upload some of those recurring trainings and put them here. So any recordings that we've got through Zoom, like orientation, forms class, things like that, this is where you'll be able to find them. I've got everything back to the start of 2022. So like I said, if you guys can't make a forms class one day, that's all right. Within a week, it'll be uploaded here and you guys can go through, and pretty much you won't be able to ask questions live, but you'll still be able to get the same content and information, which is amazing. You actually go to playlists here. They're organized by the classes that we have. So we've got Tech Tuesdays. So any Tech Tuesdays recordings will go up here. We've got team meeting recordings, compliance orientation, Orientation, KWB Orientation, and Forms classes. So again, it allows you that opportunity to catch up on what you may have missed, and that's okay if you've missed it. This is where you can find the information. I think the only other thing to note, again, it sometimes takes me a little bit to get the recordings uploaded because I have to download everything from Zoom and then convert it. So it takes me maybe a week to get things uploaded, but I do my best to try and stay up to date on that for you so that you guys can get all the information that you may have missed or may need. Again, we only really put the recurring classes on here because we do heavily try to encourage in-person participation for the special events that we offer. So any of those, if you missed a class and you want to ask me through the recording, I'm so happy to share that with you. You just will have to reach out to me via email and let me know, hey, I missed this class. I'm so sorry. Is there any way that you have a recording that I could maybe still get the information from? And I'm happy to do that for you. I'm going to close out of this real quick. So that was that left-hand side for on-demand training. If you do go to this right-hand side for command on demand, it will take you to, again, another YouTube channel, but it will take you to, and this is why I mute you guys, is because that plays so loud. I've learned my lesson. All right, so I'm gonna put this back on. All right, so Scott Lavoie Marketing, again, third-party marketing consultant that we use very closely, very helpful information. They have an entire YouTube channel where they dedicate to tech training, tips, all the things. So if you guys have found that your learning style is compatible with tutorial style, this is a really good spot for you guys to check out if you're trying to figure out just general tech tips, if you're trying to figure out information about command, or you're trying to figure out information about digital marketing tips. They've got it all really. And they've got videos that range from, if you can see here, there's a 3-minute video to we've got an hour and 4 minutes. So they've got varying content in terms of your availability and time availability. But all of this information is really great and you guys can implement it into your business right away. So I highly recommend checking them out. Again, if you are interested in tutorials, you like to learn ahead, you're more than welcome to go here. Although, like I said, Jules and Leah are our in-house tech help, and they both have Scott Leroy training background. So they are both incredibly helpful as well. Not only do they do the Tech Tuesday training classes, where they will teach you about just about the same stuff that Scott Leroy can teach you, but live. They also offer concierge services. So if you guys are ever interested in that, especially maybe once you've got things going and you're like, okay, I'm very busy, I need to try and leverage some things out, they're very helpful in terms of taking over some of your digital marketing, and they'll help do a free consult with you where they can build up a marketing plan. They're very helpful girls and they're very, very friendly. So feel free to stop and talk to them anytime you'd like. I'm just going to go ahead and exit out of this, and you guys are no longer muted online. I turned my volume back on. So if you have any questions, let me know. Close out real quick. So again, these are two really helpful YouTube channels where you guys can get any information you may have missed or any information you're looking to use and learn. Down here is just a little bit more information about Ignite, but all of that's covered in that email that I do send out to you. So you don't necessarily need to worry about that aspect. Under the Office Resources tab, the first thing I'm going to note before I even click into it is right here. You see that there's a drop down that will go just by hovering over it. Advertising guidelines is right here. For some reason, I'll have to try and fiddle a little bit with the website later. For some reason, it does not like to show up when you actually click into the tab. So if you guys are ever looking for advertising guidelines, what do I need to have on XYZ before I can share it legally? You can check out the advertising guidelines, just click into it. It'll still be password protected. It's the same password. But once you're into it, you'll be able to see we've got advertising guidelines here. And you're also more than welcome to always ask your T group partner, Tasha Viney. She's one of the partners as well, but she's specifically very good with stuff like this, or Sabra herself, all about different questions. Okay, like I'm doing my own business card on Vistaprint. I just want to make sure this looks okay. You can feel free to ask them. But that's just something I really wanted to make sure that everyone knew was there. If you just click on Office Resources as a whole, of course, my computer does not like me, so it's going to make me enter the password again and tell me I'm wrong. That's great. All right. Once you get into the Office Resources tab, this is a really helpful tab, I will say. I think everyone in this room is probably North Carolina licensed. Online, I believe we're North Carolina as well. So that's what I'm going to focus on here. There is a South Carolina. South Carolina is going to be right here. But if you guys are ever looking for any forms, okay, they're not in DocuSign list, they're not in Command, and they're not in zip forms. You can click on that left-hand side here. You'll be able to find some of the most frequently asked for forms. So these are the North Carolina. Again, the South Carolina was that left-hand side button on the other end of the page. But these are a bunch of the North Carolina forms that you may realize you need during transactions. For example, we've got some referral forms. We've also got a W-9, which is very commonly used for those referrals. So if you guys ever need the W-9, this is exactly where you can find it. It makes it easy for you. You can just download it off right as a PDF, but there's that W-9. We've also got septic and sewer on here. We've got Q&As. We've got referral agreements, firm exclusive agreements, a lot of different forms that Sabre realized were commonly asked for, and she wanted to make it just one step easier for you guys to access so that you guys could do it on your time. This is a really good stopping point. If you can't find a form any of the other places, try here, because there is a lot of information on here and a lot that you will be ended up being a lot that you end up using. I cannot talk today. So I'm gonna close out of this real quick, just a really good stopping point for you. It's all in a Google Drive folder. So with your Keller Williams emails, because those are associated with Gmail, you guys can get in and get access to those right away. Again, another really helpful Google Drive folder is under this office checklist. This is relevant to both states. So if you guys are in North Carolina, South Carolina, or both, you can click into get checklist. Sabra built these checklists herself, actually, just to kind of help walk you through transactions. So again, there's a lot that goes on in a transaction. It can be confusing. It can be daunting. She wanted to make sure that you guys had as much help as you could. So if you're going into a North Carolina listing, she made a checklist just to kind of explain what you guys might be asked for, when it needs to be done, all the things. So if you guys are looking for a little bit of like that crutch or that just the double checking as you're going through a transaction, this is a really great thing for you guys to have. You guys can use it. You can open it up on your laptops. You can print it off, whatever you're more comfortable doing. I always joke and say, okay, if you're going to print it off, maybe don't let clients see the checklist, but you can have it still. But she did build these up just so that you guys would have them, and they are for each transaction. So you'll see this is a North Carolina listing. There is a North Carolina buyer. There are also South Carolina buyer, South Carolina listings. So just checklists to have and to hold on to, especially as you're going through those first ones. Maybe it's not innate like muscle memory yet. So feel free to use these checklists as often as you'd like. Sabre did build them just for that purpose. So feel free to check that part out. I'm going to close out here. A little bit further down, CE shop. If you guys have any continuing education, maybe you're looking to get that South Carolina license, or maybe you've got some post licensing to knock out, please do check out the CE shop. Again, we also partnered very closely with them. So we do have a dual branded webpage, but this is a great opportunity for you guys to not only continue your education, but we do also with our partnership get deals through the CE shop. So they're always running some kind of deal. If you actually scroll down, hold on, I'll go back home. So if you go to the homepage, unless I am on the homepage, I might have been under the homepage. Sorry. But there is a right here. We're celebrating Father's Day, so you can save 25% right now using the code FATHER. They run deals almost every single day, I'd say. They vary. I've seen them as high as 40%. So you guys can use those at any point to get that South Carolina license. They also do a really cool thing here where not only do they have the self-paced courses that you guys can actually purchase through CE, but they do offer you guys a free trial. So if you're curious, okay, I've never done self-paced. I did Superior live class before. I'm curious if that'd be a good fit for me. I believe they actually have a free trial of that. So you can test it out for a week. You can see questions and things like that, the content that you'd be asked to like learn through the class. You can figure out if that's going to be a learning style that you're compatible with. And if it's not, then you don't have to pay. You can be done with it. You can walk away from that week and say, you know what, that's not it. I do need to focus on the live classes. But if that is something that works for you after that week trial, you can go ahead and continue by paying right then and there. So that's a really cool feature that not a lot of schools will offer. So I like to point that out. But the other thing that I do like to focus on as well, and if you guys are maybe you're from Vermont for some reason, you can absolutely get a Vermont license. So they've got a lot of different things here, lots of different states. So do feel free to look at it. It doesn't have to necessarily be South Carolina. It doesn't necessarily have to be Virginia, because those are the dual, the states kind of surrounding. If you guys are from a state and you know you've got a sphere out there, feel free to check out that state's information as well and maybe get licensed there. But under Agent Essentials, I like to show you guys the Hot Topics tab here. If you were to click on that, it will take you to all this different content. We've got blogs, ebooks, podcasts, and videos all shared right here. They're not only things that you guys can learn from and have fun with, but they're also different things that you can share on your social media. So if you guys use social media a lot or predominantly in your marketing, that's absolutely fine. You guys are more than welcome to use any of this information and share it on your feed. I know that that's really helpful in your marketing online, is that you should diversify what you're sharing. And this is something that's fun. It's a little different. Maybe somebody else isn't sharing it, but there's really great content on here. Some of it's funny, some of it's more serious. So what's going on in the market? I've seen some about selling haunted houses. This is a funny story about like DIY fails, basically. So if you guys have any interest in like just laughing for a minute or sharing this with some of your followers or friends or anything like that on social media, please do. It's absolutely great content to use, and it's available for you for that purpose. I'm just going to go ahead and close out real quick. But again, that's under that hot topics, under the Agents Essentials. So again, that's all through the CE shop. We do have a KW Valentine floor plan here. So if you guys ever feel like you're getting lost, which I understand, you're more than welcome to use it. I really have never used it, I'll be honest, but it's there. So feel free to pull it up anytime you might need to. I will say our office is kind of like a figure 8, just to give you that much. It's an interesting shape, but it's a figure 8. And down here, we do have numbers to know. So if you guys are filling out forms, you're getting your South Carolina license, okay, they're asking for firm numbers, they're asking for canopy ID. I don't know what that is. This is a really good stopping point. There's a lot of information shared here in terms of the numbers you might need. If you're not aware of, okay, maybe the number you're looking for is not there, you're welcome to email me. And if I don't know it right off the top of my head, or if I can't find it for you, I'll connect you guys with Sabra or one of our T Group partners, because they'll likely know that number themselves. I know Sabra will, but T Group partners are probably a good stopping point as well. But again, just a really good spot, trying to make it so it's more on your time, that you guys can do something in the moment. You don't have to wait on a response from somebody. So this is a good stopping point for you guys if you're ever looking for those numbers. The next thing, like I said, there's a really easy way to pull the office calendar. If you're just trying to look for the trainings we've got upcoming, just go ahead and click on this office calendar tab. It'll just pull you directly to it. I don't have to do anything. It'll just pop up right in front of me. The other really great thing, again, just to note, is if you didn't see that little loading thing right there, it was saying that it was connecting to Google Calendar. This is directly linked to a Google Calendar that I manipulate on my end. So any changes that I make to that will be instantaneously reflected on this calendar. So if you guys are ever worried, okay, like something's not, am I going to have to wait for that to be updated? Just shoot me an email and I can quickly correct it on my end, and it'll be perfect on yours in just a moment. So that's something to note as well. Under this Tech Resources tab, we do have a few different options. There's a Tech Tuesdays calendar, so you can look at specifically what they're doing for Tech Tuesdays, although it is shared on this calendar as well. There's also that can't miss video of the week. Again, just different ways to pull to the same information we've kind of covered already. Marty Miller for Teams is something I haven't talked about. So quickly, Marty Miller for Teams is built up so that you guys in the first, I think it's 60 or 66 days that you're here, it's a 66-day challenge. There's, again, YouTube videos that are just kind of tutorial style. He's going to show you how to do something, and it's going to get you one step closer to building up to being a very confident and comfortable agent when you first start here. I think the first thing is just kind of messing with your digital marketing profile, manipulating one thing, and then the next day you do one other thing. So 66 days, he breaks it up for you, and it's very easy, manageable chunks, but it ends up having a very developed result at the end. So something to check out if you guys are interested. Again, if tutorials are kind of your thing and you like to pace things and chunk it as opposed to doing it as one whole step, very, very helpful right there. Another way for you guys to get to answers.kw.com. We've also got different things here, Scott Roy and KW Command. So feel free to use those tech links as you need to. Under helpful links, we do have the new associates pages listed right there. We have a prayer request form. So if you guys ever do have something going on in your life or somebody that's very close to you and you guys would like more prayer power, you're more than welcome to fill out a prayer request form. We've got that available to you there, and it's going to notify leadership. And you guys can tell us right then and there if you'd like it to be just exclusive to leadership, if you'd like it to be on a broader scale, because we're happy to share that with our agents, and we can keep it anonymous if you'd like, just so that you can get more prayer power. So that's something, if you would absolutely like to do at any point, we do care about you guys. You are our family, and we want to make sure everything's all right. So please let us know what's going on. You don't necessarily have to fill out the form. You can always just email me or Teresa or somebody on leadership, and we'll absolutely pray for you guys. The next thing to note, if you guys ever work with an agent that you absolutely loved, oh my gosh, they were amazing, or oh my gosh, my friend just got her license, or she's in school right now, please let us know if you've worked with anybody that you really have enjoyed and you think that they would benefit from the opportunities here at KWB. There is a refer an agent form here, but I'm going to simplify things and make it even easier. If you guys come in, if that situation occurs for you guys, just shoot Teresa or Abby an email with their information, introduce them to each other, and that's right there. And then that also can help you guys build your downline. So if you introduce us to an amazing agent, they may name you as a sponsor because you brought them to Keller Williams, and then you've built up that passive income. So you're already starting with growth committee. Just a little bit further, again, easy way to schedule a conference room. You can click right there as opposed to scrolling and scrolling and scrolling through the tabs. Scheduling a conference room is right there. The next thing I actually will click on this is strategic vendor partners. If you click on that, this is going to take you to a spreadsheet rather than maybe joining that Facebook page, or maybe still join the Facebook page, but hey, I just need a quicker way. This is a spreadsheet that we have that shows you all of our vendor partners. Rob does a good job of keeping this updated for you. They're organized by what their specialty is. It tells you the company name, it tells you their email, It gives you the services they offer, a website if it's there, and a point of contact directly. So please do use this as much as you like. Again, for crawl space, we've already got 2 right there that do crawl spaces. So that's 2 people you can recommend to your clients. You might just want to go out and grab a third yourself to recommend and get quotes from. But again, lots of really valuable information here, lots of amazing people to get to know. So just so you're aware that that's there, I'm going to close out of it though. And then under, again, we've got Keller Inc., which is just like a way for you guys to buy some of the books that we do have available here in the Market Center as well. They've got different content, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. They've got the Shift book, all the great things and more. Think Like a CEO podcast is a really amazing podcast you guys can check out as well. Just different things that are helpful resources here that you may want to implement into your business. You may want to consider just having as something that you enjoy in your day-to-day life. Nothing is required in that section, but if it's something that is of interest to you, please do use it. And the next thing is Outfront Magazine. I will say Outfront Magazine is great. They release a social calendar, as they call it. So if you guys, again, would like to venture into promoting through social media, but okay, maybe I don't know what to post today because it's a random Tuesday and who cares? So if you don't know what to post, that social calendar is actually released monthly. So June, so it's got all the holidays on it, but it also will say, hey, this is what you could be posting about today. So it gives you suggestions, one for every single day, of things that you can share on social media, which I think is very helpful. So do check out Outfront Magazine. It's very helpful. And the last thing I'm going to show you guys, and I'm just going to move you guys right here, is this I Need Tech Help button. So if you guys are very interested, you want to have a free sit down, 30 minutes of time just to talk to Jules and Leah, see what's going on. This can be because you're interested in the concierge services, because you have a tech question, or hey, like I just kind of want to get a feel for how to work Command as a whole. Like, could you give me 30 minutes one-on-one where you just kind of show me a little bit more of how I can start getting things in my database or putting in contacts, things like that. If you click this I Need Tech Help button, it will actually take you directly to their Calendly link. So you can click right on it. So today they'll be in, they've got a 1:30 time today actually. So if anyone really, really wants to go, click on that. But you can use this right here. And so they're in from Monday, it's Tuesdays to Fridays. So you can click on any of these days and you can immediately book 30 minutes of time on their calendar. So you know that you've secured time to talk to them, and it'll drop on their calendar so that they see it as well. So they'll know that they're meeting with you and they'll be able to prepare accordingly. But just so you guys are aware, again, very, very helpful girls in terms of concierge services, but also really and strongly for those tech questions, especially when you're first starting out. So if you guys come across any that you may have, you're welcome to shoot them an email, but this is also a really great way to get to know them and to get a lot of questions answered. So I'm going to close out, and that truthfully is kind of the gist of the website. Again, I know that I just spewed a lot of information at you, so please do not feel like you have to have it all down pat right now. You are more than welcome to take the time as much as you need to just kind of navigate through. Before I take questions, I'm just going to really quickly reiterate, this recording will be posted to a YouTube channel. Again, you can find that YouTube channel under this on-demand training tab. That YouTube channel, like I said, it'll be posted. So if you guys want to walk through and see what I did, especially if you might have missed a couple minutes in the beginning, and that's totally fine. But if you have any questions, you're welcome to look at that because that'll be helpful. Just kind of go back through the recording. You'll see me pace with you guys. So that can be helpful. And the other thing to note as well, in terms of questions, and I just lost my train of thought. Wow, how embarrassing. Yeah, okay, well, then we'll just start there. So we have a YouTube channel. So if you guys have questions, and that's going to be the easiest thing. The next easiest thing is really just take a breath, go home. When you have a free moment, go back to KWB resources and just kind of see if you can't recall how I did things. Click on everything, kind of find your way through. If you have questions along the way, maybe you don't have one right now, again, because sometimes when a lot of information comes at you, it's hard to sort through your thoughts and think that you have a question. So if you come across any questions you might have along the way, shoot me an email. I'm absolutely happy to answer the question for you. I'm happy to show you how to do things, whatever works. But if there's any questions that I can answer right now, online or in person, I'd be happy to do that. Does anybody have one? We've got one over here. Yeah. Oh, you're absolutely fine. Oh, you're fine. I don't mind at all. That's the great thing about this class. You can kind of just pick up right when you get in. So it's KWBresources.com. I'm going to see if I can't, I don't know if it's helpful. It's kind of far, but I kind of highlighted up there at the URL. So it's KWBresources.com. Yep. Any other questions in the room?
I have a question.
Oh, we got one
Um,
online.
Online,
Okay.
yes, Jessica. So
That's
how
okay.
do we know which classes are Zoom or in person? Because when I went to this one, I thought it was just a Zoom link. I didn't realize that it was an actual in-person class
No
too. So
worries.
how do we know normally which ones to come in for? Or because sometimes it says both, like sometimes it says both in person and Zoom, but the other times I'm like the forms class, like that one's always Zoom, but at one point I thought I had to go in for that. So I'm like confused on like how do we know to go in or Zoom or
Yeah, no worries. So I do try to make a point to put whether it's in person or online in the calendar link. If I don't, and you ever have like a specific class question, you're more than welcome to shoot me an email or call me real quick, and I'll be able to let you know. I also will usually, when I'm sharing them, like I said, I do share a lot to Facebook. So when I'm sharing to Facebook, I'll usually specify there as well, whether it's one or the other. But a really good way, like you kind of mentioned, is if it's both. And usually some of our more special classes are both. So let's see, we've got, trying to think of like a specific one that I can reference. Oh, actually. So next week we've got an open houses. So learn to master open houses. So if you guys want to learn about open houses, you guys can come. So if you guys are interested in open houses, so if you scroll, so we've got the Eventbrite link. So that's an in-person. If there's an Eventbrite link, it's definitely in person. You'll need to register for it. If there's a Zoom link, like we said, that's remote. It usually does say, but I will say in terms of the recurring classes, almost all of them are offered hybrid. I'd say the only thing that is not is going to be that forms class. That's exclusively Zoom, just because our broker in charge stays home with her mother. Actually, her mom's a little bit older, so she likes to stay home with her mom just to make sure her mom's doing well during COVID. So those are going to be exclusively through Zoom. That's just the only reason that there's just a Zoom link. Our T group meetings, I believe, actually changed it. So it's going to be in person. So there's no registration necessary. You can just come in person. The only one that actually is through Zoom would be Rob's. And I think, yep, I specified there. And this is me trying to like walk through and make sure I did everything on my part too. Because I'm like, oh man, I feel bad. I confused you. So let me see here. So, and then like team meetings, it's going to have a Zoom link, but team meetings are in person as well. Orientations in person as well. But again, if you go online because of share screen, it's pretty easy to follow along. And then the other thing to note, let me see. I think that kind of covers compliance. Orientation is going to be in person and online as well. So again, recurring meetings like that are usually going to be a hybrid. But again, you are so welcome to call me or email me at any point and say, hey, I was going to register for this, but I just wanted to double check, is this in person or just Zoom? And I'm happy to share that with you. So feel free to use that, but I'll do my best to keep updating on my end just to make sure that everything's as clear as possible on whether or not it's hybrid or if it's just one or the other. So I'll go back through later and just make sure that I specify on a few things for you to hopefully make sure it's as clear as possible.
thanks. And I had another question about like the Canopy, MLS, and Realtor. Is
Okay.
that something that we need to, because I know those are like different costs or additional costs. Um, are we supposed to register for that ourselves or, because I know I sent an email about something, but I was like, is that like a separate cost for that or?
Okay. So in terms of that, I will say I am not always the best person to ask with stuff like
Okay.
that, just because, and I only say that not to deter you, but just because I'm not even licensed. Full disclosure, I'm not licensed. So I only know so much about that element, but a really great person for you to ask about stuff like that would be Sabra, or you could reach out to your T partner. So if you'd like, check that email where I said, welcome to KW Valentine area as the header. And that should help you to find out who your T partner is if you don't already know off the top of your head. And then reach out to your partner. Or you can even honestly email Sabra, email your partner, email Carla Kettler, and her email is going to be up from here. She's also another really good person you can ask about stuff like that. So feel free to ask any of those people. And I hate to do that to you, but I just don't want to give you the wrong information. I don't think it's a requirement for you to do. I think you should be okay, but I don't want you to go off that word and me be wrong. So I'd prefer you ask somebody just to make sure that I'm not going to give you something that is not the right answer.
Fine. Thank you.
No worries. No worries. Is there anybody else that might have a question online in person? Okay. So for how to get in the Wi-Fi, so it's a capital B. Oh, you got it? Which Wi-Fi? So it should be KW, capital KW, capital BAL, capital MC. So it should be KW. Here, let me see if I can. Nope, you're good. You're good. It's very confusing. There's too many things that come up sometimes. So it should be, I think it is KW LMC. Thank you. There's an L. See, thank you. Because I'm like, I know the gist of the letters that show up there. No problem, no problem. And that's something else. Maybe it's more on my end because of the passwords I see, but it's like sometimes it's BAL, sometimes it's AMC, sometimes there's this, sometimes there's that. It's like they change it up just once every single time, and it really keeps you on your toes. Is there anybody else that might have a question? Tiffany, did you have a question, or you think you're okay? I couldn't tell if you might have one. I know. No, it's okay. It's okay. It is a lot, and I definitely just like spewed information at you. So again, if you want to like go home, watch the recording of this and kind of walk through it and slow it down or something, or if you just again want to take the time to mess around on your own, shoot me an email if you have any questions. Good. Okay, good. So you've got all your Keller information. Yep, you've got all your information, so you can log into command and everything as well now. That email is going to be your KW email, so you can use that as your primary email for anything real estate wise, but all the other stuff is going to be helpful for you for logging into command and things like that. And again, if you guys have questions when it comes to that tech side, Jules and Lee are really great to talk to. You don't necessarily have to meet with them. Contact at juliadesigns.com, which will be on the website. Very, very easy to get a hold of them and ask them questions too. Yeah, MailChimp, I know a little bit less about, but I know that Jules and Leah have some information for that as well. So they would be good to ask. I'm not great with MailChimp. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't use it. So again, only so much of it is relevant to me because I kind of get like a similar Keller setup. But like if I'm not an agent, I use Command, but I use Command as a market center tool. So I'm like putting you guys with teams that you might be joining. I'm doing things on that end. I don't know what MailChimp's good for. And I feel terrible saying that as I work for here, but I don't know what MailChimp's good for. It might be helpful for you guys, not helpful for me. Yes, ma'am. So if you want to go to the office calendar, yeah, so go to the office calendar. If you're looking for a specific class, this is going to have everything. So we've got KWB orientation here. So if you want to watch the recording from the beginning, you'll go under on-demand training. You'll use, it actually kept my password finally. And this left-hand side here, you'll click the on-demand button. And that'll take you to the YouTube channel where we've got everything. This is going to be KWB Orientation. So when I post the recording about this, probably later this afternoon, that's where you'll find it. As you can go under KWB Orientation, you'll find, I'll put the date next to it so you know it's from today and you'll be able to watch it. Yep. Make it easy. There's a chat. Is there a place where you can get South Carolina forms? Yes, Michelle, there is. I'm so sorry, I just saw that.
Okay.
So when you go under the office resources, you'll go under this left or this right-hand button for South Carolina. And that's going to have a lot of those same forms. So not as many, because I think that South Carolina does a lot through DocuSign and Zip forms, I think. So you might want to ask for specific forms. You may have to ask Sabra or Carla where you can find them. But these are going to be some of the ones we have for South Carolina. Again, we've got, we've got lot disclosures, pre-listing, we've got septic or sewer. So we've got some of that stuff up here as well that might not be available to you through those. But that's where you can find those. Is you'll go under the office resources and you'll just click this right-hand side. And this is one of those password protected tabs. It's finally memorized my password, so it's not making me enter it, but it is password protected. And were you able to get the password down earlier?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, good. No
So other forms other than that's listed here, because I do a lot in Fort Mill. I guess you guys put it in separate place.
So in terms of the other forms,
the rest of the,
so those are usually, and again, only used South, I've only seen South Carolina forms so many times.
I don't
And I'm
guess
okay
it's-
with that because I think it's stresses me out a little bit, guys. I'm gonna be honest. But so for the South Carolina forms, I believe that a lot are available through DocuSign and Zip forms.
DocuSign,
Again,
okay, I'll check.
Don't, yeah, I was gonna say, don't hold me to that 100%. But that'd be a good spot to check. And again, if you can't find anything, you can email Carla. Is really great about helping out with that. Sabra as well, or your T partner. So any of those people would be really, really helpful in terms of helping you find those South Carolina forms.
Perfect, thank you.
No problem, no problem. I wish I knew some of the more agent like specific stuff, guys. I'm so sorry, I'm letting you down. Is there any other questions, anybody online?
I do.
Yep.
I have another one, Jessica story.
No worries.
So like for today on the calendar, it says Coach's Corner from 1 to 2. Is that to meet with a specific coach, or can we come in and sit in that class?
So that's actually not a class. That's actually
Oh.
coaches just meeting, like the coaches meeting for a
Oh.
meeting.
Okay.
So that one, sorry about that. Again, sometimes it gets a little confusing, which is why I like when people ask me questions about specific things, because I can give you a little more information. I'm not sure, and let me just double check real quick. Yeah, so that's why it doesn't say anything about like a link or anything, because I didn't want anyone to hopefully get too confused with that. But forums classes, the link's here for later. There's also the T group. So if anyone's in Tasha Viney's T group, she would be meeting later in person. And you guys, again, can double check that email. And if you don't have a welcome to KW Valentine area email, then that's okay. You'll be getting one very shortly that'll introduce you to your partners. Let's see, but we do have a future capper mastermind that everyone in this room is welcome to join. If you guys, again, as you're first starting out, if you would like to join, Abby Wilson, our assistant team leader, who I think I actually just heard somewhere, she will be doing a future capper mastermind. She does them every like third Friday, I believe it is, of the month. And she has a blast with it. She loves to meet with you guys and help really get the ball rolling, give you the fuel you need to achieve your goals. She wants you guys to be successful in real estate and help you guys to get there. So this week, she's actually going to be focusing on buyer consultation scripts, and she's also going to be focused on tackling objections. So if those are things that you think you would find helpful to strengthen those skills, you're absolutely welcome to join her. You don't have to have introduced yourself to Abby prior to. You're just more than welcome. Again, no registration necessary for in-person. The Zoom link, if you can't go in person, that's the option available to you. But if you guys are free from 1 to 2 on tomorrow, you're welcome to come. But it's going to be right here in this room, and she's amazing, very, very helpful. And then this one's just training room reserved. Somebody's borrowing it. So any other questions that we might have? Oh, all right. I'll take that as a win. Okay. So if, like I said, if you guys walk away from this and you go, oh crap, now I have a question, feel free to shoot me an email or give me a phone call. I'm happy to answer anything that you guys may have. I'm happy to find some of those answers for you as well. Again, if I don't know them myself. So let me go ahead and do that for you. Other than that, I'm just going to double check one more thing here. Other than that, that's really kind of the gist of orientation. We're really just kind of going over the website. Again, lots of resources here, which is why we have a whole hour dedicated to showing you what they are and how to get to them. But other than that, guys, this has been orientation. I'm just going to double check on this chat. Thank you, very helpful. Thank you. But other than that, that's really it, guys. Congratulations on joining KW. We're so excited to have you. Congratulations on doing real estate, passing the exams, all the things. We are so excited for you guys. Absolutely feel free to reach out to any one of us. We all want to help you succeed, agents and staff alike. So please let us know if there's anything we can ever do for you. And I'm happy to be that first contact for you guys and get you connected with who you need. So please, without further ado, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Of course, I'm happy to do it for you.
Thank you.
Anytime. Have a great one,
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye. All right, close out. All right, and get out of here.